This news is funded by viewers like you. Please support our work at democracynow.org/give. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman in New York, joined by Democracy Now! Co-host Juan Gonzalez in Chicago. Hi, Juan.
Hi, Amy, and welcome to all of our listeners and viewers across the country and around the world.
We begin today's show in the occupied West Bank, where deadly Israeli raids continue. Israeli forces raided the northern city of Jenin early Tuesday morning, killing at least 8 Palestinians, according to the Palestine Red Crescent Society, including a doctor and a teenager riding his bicycle. The doctor killed has been identified as Dr. Usaid Jabarin, a surgeon at Jenin Government Hospital who was reportedly shot dead on his way to work. About a dozen others were reported injured, including a journalist. Schools in Jenin were evacuated. This is Palestinian ambulance driver Hazim Masarwa.
The undercover forces raided the area suddenly, and they were firing at any moving body in the street. You can see among those killed was a doctor, teachers, and students. These are the martyrs. The injuries were mostly concentrated in the thighs, the chest, and the head. The Israeli forces were targeting anything moving. As you can see, the ambulances were targeted too.
On Tuesday, dozens of mourners buried a Palestinian teacher killed when Israeli troops stormed Jenin. This is the teacher's brother, Tarek Jaradat.
Earlier this morning, he was on his way to school, and when the sudden raid started in Jenin, the Israeli forces shot at people, and he was among them.
Israeli forces also made 15 arrests across Ramallah, Nablus, and Tubas, as well as in occupied East Jerusalem. This comes as the Israeli human rights group B'Tselem posted video from Saturday of 3 or 4 military jeeps driving into the center of Deir Abu Mash'al, a village northwest of Ramallah. After young men reportedly threw stones, the soldiers suspected one of them ran into a nearby bakery, and 2 officers and about 6 soldiers entered it and immediately started assaulting workers there and in the neighboring shop they fled to. The young men were also beaten by the soldiers. Israel's detained over 8,800 Palestinians in the occupied West Bank since October 7th. For more, we're going to Nablus. We're joined by Motasem Abu Hasan. He's an actor with the Freedom Theater in the Jenin refugee camp. He escaped the camp just as the invasion began Tuesday morning. We'd also hoped to speak with Ahmed Tabassi, the artistic director of the Jenin Freedom Theater, but he's still in the middle of the camp, which is surrounded by Israeli soldiers, and we couldn't reach him. Motasem, you were in rehearsal for a new play opening tomorrow when the raid started. Can you describe what happened?
Hi, everyone, and thank you. What happened, it's happened for 73 times until now. That invasion of Jenin camp is it's the 73 invasions. We wake on the alarm of the camp that the Israeli army start to invade Jenin. I wake up and start to, have an information, checking the news, what happened. It's all it started with a special force that invade Jenin camp, and they are trying to arrest young guys in the camp, but then the clashes was started, and the military jeep and tanks and D9 start to invade the camp and Jenin. When it's happened, I expected that it is the invasion, because all of the situation in the last few weeks, all of people in the camps says that or talking to each other that we feel that the invasion, another one, will happen after the July one and the December one. All of us, we can feel it, like the invasion will happen in some days. In some days it's coming. So it's really happened. So I decided, and my colleague Khalil Al-Batran, he also the actor in the play that we rehearsing about it. we decide to go out from the camp. It's a really very difficult and hard feeling to really leave the camp. And we leave it like between the snipers of the Israeli army. We just walking and look around us that a lot of snipers there, and we just expected that the bullet will like crash our heads. So yeah, we went out. It's a really hard time or a hard moment to leave the camp. Also because we know very well the need of people in the camp to be like surround each other, to give a power to each other, especially that the Freedom Theater, our theater, we work teams or our work stems from a deep belief in the importance of cultural and art. This belief, it's rooted from the statement of the founder of the Freedom Theater, Giuliano Milkhamid, when he said that the third intifada will be a cultural intifada. And we believe really this statement and work from it. And especially in this genocide war against all Palestinian in Gaza, in West Bank, we fully understand our significant responsibility to instill hope and to instill the culture and instill life for the people to work hard to reveal, to reveal the truth about the Israeli occupation. It is crucial to emphasize the importance of remaining steadfast in the face of the collective punishment policies employed by the occupation to make the Palestinian life harder, as we understood the need to convey our narrative, and our narrative, it's now be a worldwide narrative. We can see the importance of the narrative, especially now in the America, in the Europe today, Spain and Ireland and Belgium. They believe in the need of country for Palestinian, because that we really had before maybe 3 months at March, we decided to start a rehearsal for a new play, and we started from March until yesterday. We work hard to do this play, and we did a lot of rehearsals. Now we like in the last minute to have a premiere, and the play, it's really fully of ideas, because we discussed in this play the meaning of the war, and when the other person became my friend, and when that person became my enemy. So, and the challenge is, it is the first play will perform in Palestine, in West Bank, from the 7th of October. We have and we carry this responsible of this, to perform the play, because we know especially the need of people here to really Yes. Hello?
Motasem, yes, I wanted to ask you, in terms of the continued attacks by both settlers and Israeli soldiers on the inhabitants of the West Bank, while the rest of the world is focused on Gaza. How can you talk about the escalation of these attacks since October 7th?
In West Bank, we live under occupation before the 7th of October. It's not started from the 7th of October. It's right from 48. We live under the occupation, especially in the West Bank and West Jerusalem and also Gaza with the wars. But in West Bank, the settlers became more I don't know, more monster, like around the road between the cities and the checkpoints. The Israeli army put more checkpoints between the cities here, like to make a West Bank. It's like a villages, not a country, or not cities connect to each other. They are trying to really make every city surrounded by settlement, and the Palestinians just live in these cities, and they are we cannot go outside our city. There are a lot of people killed by the settlers in the West Bank, especially like in the road between Nablus and Ramallah, and also Ramallah and Hebron. I think there are 20 people killed by the settlers. The checkpoints really hard. From Nablus to Ramallah, it's a 1 hour by car. In a regular, in a normal situation. But now we have to really plan to go to Ramallah, because it's have 4 hours now with the checkpoints. If we want to, to go to travel, we have to escape the very tough checkpoint and the invade of the storm of Israeli army to every city in Palestine. It's more difficult now, but it's really happening before the 7th of October. But now it's more tough. They are shooting everything. Everything moves. That's what happened yesterday. In 1 hour, 7 people killed by Israeli army. They are, really monster, really shooting everything. A children on his bicycle. He ran out from his school to go to his home, to his safety place. How he think? He just have a bullet in his mind. The teacher, he is afraid of his boys, of his students. He tried everything to make the children and his students safe. He had a bullet in his mind. The doctor, he afraid, and he is quickly run out from his home to the hospital. He had a bullet in his mind, in his head. It's really horrible situation. Yesterday, in 1 hour, 7 people killed by a bullet, by a gun, and soldiers that didn't see anything, just killed. They really and destroy everything: electricity, internet, the water tunnel, the street, the buildings. They storm now. It's happening now in this time. They storm every house.
I wanted to ask you, do you have some hope now when you hear of all the young people in the West protesting Israel's war on the Palestinians and on Gaza, and when you hear now of the first European countries recognizing the state of Palestine?
It's a cultural intifada. It's a result of the cultural intifada. It's a cultural intifada. That's why we really believe on the power of narrative, especially in the Freedom Theater in Palestine, in Jenin camp. We did a tour around all the world, from Australia to America, just to say that our narrative, to let people know our stories, our narrative as a Palestinian live under occupation in the horrible situation. Really, now in this time, I just think that this is really a normal life. Did anybody around the world now live like us? But now we really, I told you from deep belief that we just thinking that it is a normal life. When I traveled outside
Motasem,
Palestine to
we have
Europe,
10 seconds.
yeah, it's because it's last 10 seconds. I really want to say that that is the power of narrative, because that Mustafa Shita, the manager, administrative manager of the Freedom Theater, he is arrested, and now he is in the jail for the 6 months without reason. Zakaria Zubaydi, he is a co-founder with the Giuliano Filkhamis, co-founder of the Freedom Theater with Giuliano Filkhamis. He in the prison. Ahmed Tobasi, he was in the prison. And now Tobasi, we cannot connect with them because there are no electricity, no internet in the camp.
Yes, we had actually hoped that we would be able to reach the camp, but because there is no electricity and internet, we couldn't. But Motasem Abu Hasan, we thank you so much for being with us, actor at the Freedom Theater in the Jenin refugee camp. He escaped the camp just as the latest Israeli military raid began Tuesday morning. A number of people were killed, including a doctor and 2 15-year-olds. Democracy Now! Is funded by viewers like you. Please give today at democracynow.org/give.